Lesson planning and class management. Lesson plan is very important for the teacher to manage in a class and decide what to teach and how to teach. He makes sure that he achieves the objectives of the syllabus. But what is a lesson plan? A lesson planning is a unified set of activities that focuses on one teaching objective at a time. Teaching objective states what the learners will be able to do at the end of the lesson. The benefit of the lesson planning. Lesson planning produces more unified lessons. It allows teachers to evaluate their own knowledge with regard to the content to be taught. The teacher is clear on what needs to be done, how and when. It is useful for substitute teachers. It documents for administrators the instruction that is occurring. Some teachers feel that lesson planning takes too much time, but it can be useful again, in whole or in part, in other lessons in the future. To work on a lesson plan, we need to answer the following questions. What does the teacher want his students to learn? What teaching or learning activities will the teacher use? How does the teacher check for his students' understanding? This involves enabling objectives. First, enabling objectives. They include the basic skills such as vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. The life skills such as cultural information. Second, it involves materials and equipment. This includes realia, visual aids. Teacher makes handouts, textbooks, flip charts and markers, overhead projector, tape recording, etc. Third, it involves activities. Here, teachers move from the more controlled, such as repetition, to a less structured or free format, such as interviewing each other. Activities should be valid in type. For example, whole group, paired, individual, and valid in modality, such as speaking, listening, writing, and reading. Lesson planning has a set of stages of a lesson. The first and the commencement of a lesson plan is the warm-up, review. In a warm-up stage, the teacher introduces students to the unit topic and relates present lesson to the last one if needed. Second, the presentation. Third, practice. Fourth, prediction, evaluation. And last, we have giving instruction for the next lesson, such as homework, preparations, assignments. Lesson planning also can have a set of methods and approaches of planning lessons. The first is the PPP approach: presentation, practice, and prediction. In presentation, the teacher presents new words or structures, gives examples, writes them on the board, etc. In this stage, for example, students' attention is focused on the targeted grammar items in the text. Firstly, they are directed to the form of the new grammatical structures, often involving table completion. Then students use the isolated examples of grammar and the context provided by the text to work out and formulate rules of usage in a guided way. Finally, they are referred to the grammar summary at the back of the book, where there are explanations of the rules and further examples. The second is practice. Students practice using words or structures in a controlled way. For example, asking and answering questions, giving sentences based on a picture. Practice can be oral or written. Practice activities are carefully graded and get students to apply the rules that they have just discovered. Initial activities get students to discriminate receptively between different usages. They are often followed by activities in which students use the target structure in a very guided way, often through gap fills. Then students move on to doing predictive but guided written and oral practice activities. Finally, they do freer written and oral practice. At the same time as doing grammar practice exercises, students are usually developing the theme of the lesson and the unit. Students are provided with plenty of backup grammar reference. In the student's book, the grammar summary provides a list of rules and examples. In the activity book, there is the mini grammar, which is a highly comprehensive grammar resource for students and teachers to use both in and out of class. The third stage is prediction. Students use language to express themselves freely. For example, to talk or write about their own lives and interests, to express opinions, or imagine themselves in different situations. Prediction can be either oral or written. The structure of the lesson mirrors the unit structure by following the same basic stages of learning. Stage 1, before you start. In this section of each lesson, there are warm-up activities which introduce the lesson subtopic and help to prepare students in terms of lexis. In grammar-focused lessons, the before you start phase includes reading and listening tasks, which provide the context for target language items. Stage 2, main input. Skill-focused lessons contain skill development activities, listening and reading, followed by a focus on vocabulary or lexis. Grammar-focused lessons have an explicit presentation stage in which students work out rules of form and usage. Stage 3, main performance. All lessons lead up to a productive stage. In skills lessons, this involves writing and speaking activities related to the topic of the lesson. In grammar lessons, students take part in free writing or oral grammar practice, which is again related to the topic of the lesson. The second approach is the TBL approach, the task-based lesson or learning. In this approach, the focus is on a task where the learner generates authentic, though not necessarily original language, and creates opportunities for second language acquisition. This task is an activity based on students using language to achieve specific outcomes. The activity reflects real life or authentic tasks: questioning, games, surveys, conversation, role plays, presentation, etc. Students focus on meaning. They use language freely while attempting to lower their affective filter. They are free to experiment or make mistakes. The tasks in the communication workshop are all staged in the following way. Before you start, in this stage, students are prepared for doing the task. Stage 1, preparation. One or more stages of each workshop involve students preparing their performance, such as brainstorming ideas, writing paragraph plans, planning what they are going to say, rehearsing useful words and expressions. Stage 2, performance. Students use their notes and ideas from the preparation stage either to perform the speaking task, such as role play, discussion, or to write a draft of their own composition. Stage 3, reflection. In the writing workshop, when students have finished writing, they are encouraged to check their work and improve it before giving it to their partners. Then, in the talk-back stage, students think about what they have written, react to what their partners have written, or assess their own performance. And sometimes they act out a follow-up dialogue.